Hey there, fellow literature explorers. Today, we turn our gaze toward The Karate Kid, a 2010 martial arts drama that offers much more than narrative surface. It's a text rich with thematic complexity, symbolic resonance, and intricate character work that invites rigorous analysis. I'm delighted you've joined me, because in this video, we'll engage in a detailed examination of its cinematic language, narrative structure, and intertextual layers that shape its meaning. We'll begin by situating the film within its cultural and theoretical context, unpacking its stylistic choices and the director's auteur signature. Next, I'll provide a concise yet nuanced overview of the narrative arc, highlighting the film's core motifs without diluting its interpretive possibilities. From there, we'll delve into a compelling plot summary that foregrounds its narrative strategies and rhetorical devices, all framed to prepare you for the unfolding complexities. Crucially, we'll tease key thematic elements and pivotal narrative shifts, those moments that challenge conventional readings and open the text to multiple interpretations. Throughout, expect us to consider character dynamics, cinematic techniques like mise-en-scene and editing, and the film's engagement with broader discourses in film and literary theory. Prepare to engage with this film not just as viewers, but as scholars, questioning, interpreting, and appreciating the layers beneath its surface. So, get comfortable, sharpen your critical lens, and let's embark on an intellectually rewarding exploration of this cinematic work. Set against the luminous backdrop of Beijing's sprawling urban landscapes and ancient traditions, the film offers a reimagining of a classic tale of growth, resilience, and cultural encounter. It invites us into the life of a young boy uprooted from his familiar world and thrust into a foreign culture. One that challenges his assumptions, tests his spirit, and ultimately transforms his understanding of strength and honor. This is more than a story about martial arts or competition. It is a richly woven coming-of-age journey that explores themes of identity, belonging, and the bridging of cultural divides. The film's vibrant setting, blending the ultra-modern with the timeless, creates a textured environment where tradition and modernity collide and coexist. At its heart lies the story of a young protagonist navigating the challenges of adolescence amid displacement and cultural dissonance. His relocation from Detroit to Beijing, due to his mother's career, introduces a narrative tension rooted in outsider status and the search for home. This physical and emotional journey is mirrored in the film's visual style, which juxtaposes the bustling city streets and towering skyscrapers with serene temples, mist-shrouded mountains, and the meticulous practice of martial arts. The director's eye captures these contrasts with a cinematic language that balances kinetic energy and contemplative beauty, emphasizing the protagonist's evolving relationship with his surroundings. The narrative arc follows this young boy as he confronts not only the external conflicts of bullying and rivalry but also internal struggles of self-doubt and cultural adaptation. His encounter with a wise and unassuming mentor, a reclusive maintenance man and martial arts master, sparks a transformation that transcends physical training. The mentor's teaching philosophy emphasizes patience, humility, and harmony over brute strength, positioning martial arts as a path to self-mastery and respect rather than mere combat. This ideological framing challenges and enriches traditional genre conventions, inviting viewers to consider martial arts as a spiritual and ethical discipline. The plot's momentum builds through a series of escalating confrontations and lessons, both in the dojo and on the streets. The protagonist's initial struggles, his awkwardness, frustration, and fear, give way to growing confidence and insight, facilitated by unconventional training methods that link physical movement to mindfulness and environmental awareness. The famous wax-on, wax-off sequence becomes emblematic of this process, transforming mundane chores into exercises in discipline and focus. This narrative device cleverly subverts expectations, turning a seemingly trivial task into a profound metaphor for learning and growth. Rising tension comes not only from interpersonal conflict but also from the cultural dynamics at play. The film explores themes of respect, tradition, and the negotiation of identity in a globalizing world. The protagonist's gradual immersion into Chinese culture, through language, customs, and relationships, serves as both a personal journey and a commentary on cross-cultural exchange. This interplay invites viewers to reflect on the possibilities and challenges of bridging worlds, highlighting empathy and understanding as vital elements of true mastery. The climax centers on a martial arts tournament that pits the protagonist against formidable opponents, including a relentless rival who embodies aggression and entitlement. The tournament serves as a narrative crucible, where physical skill and moral character are tested in equal measure. Here, the film employs dramatic tension, choreographed spectacle, and emotional stakes to engage audiences viscerally and intellectually. The final confrontation is charged not just with competition but with the resolution of internal conflicts, fear, pride, and the struggle for self-definition. Throughout the film, symbolic motifs weave through the visual and narrative fabric. The crane, a bird revered in East Asian culture for its grace and longevity, appears as a metaphor for balance, patience, and elevated perspective, qualities essential to martial arts and personal growth. The contrast between light and shadow in training scenes evokes the yin-yang philosophy, underscoring themes of harmony and duality. These symbols deepen the narrative, linking individual development to broader philosophical traditions and cultural heritage. Cinematic techniques such as close-ups and slow motion emphasize moments of emotional intensity and physical precision. The camera lingers on expressions of determination, vulnerability, and insight, inviting viewers to inhabit the protagonist's psychological landscape. Editing rhythms fluctuate between dynamic action sequences and quieter, meditative moments, mirroring the ebb and flow of the character's journey. The sound design complements this balance, blending ambient city noises with traditional musical motifs to create an immersive oral environment. The film's engagement with intertextuality is subtle yet significant. It acknowledges its legacy as a reinterpretation of a beloved 1980s classic, while infusing the narrative with fresh cultural specificity and contemporary sensibilities. This dialogue with past and present enriches the viewing experience, prompting reflections on nostalgia, adaptation, and the evolution of storytelling across generations and cultures. In teasing the major twists and thematic revelations, the film surprises by emphasizing internal transformation over external victory. The protagonist's greatest challenges arise not from physical confrontation alone but from overcoming fear, embracing humility, and forging genuine connections across cultural boundaries. These moments subvert simplistic hero narratives, offering a more nuanced and layered understanding of strength. These moments subvert simplistic hero narratives, offering a more nuanced and layered understanding of strength. The mentor's wisdom and the protagonist's evolving self-awareness illuminate the film's ultimate message, that mastery is as much about character and heart as it is about skill. As we embark on a deeper exploration, expect to uncover how the film's rich tapestry of themes, symbolism, and cinematic artistry coalesce to create a resonant story that speaks to universal experiences through the lens of specific cultural and temporal contexts. It is a narrative that challenges us to reconsider notions of power, identity, and belonging, inviting thoughtful engagement and emotional reflection. So, settle in as we delve into the compelling world crafted by this film, where every frame carries weight and meaning, and where the journey from outsider to self-mastery unfolds with grace, tension, and profound insight. The story begins with a sense of upheaval, the kind that disrupts not only the physical surroundings but the very emotional fabric of its central character's life. We meet a young boy, freshly uprooted from the familiar rhythms of Detroit and transplanted into the bustling, unfamiliar expanse of Beijing. This displacement is more than geographic. It is cultural, emotional, and existential, a collision of worlds that sets the stage for the narrative's unfolding tensions and transformations. Upon arrival, the boy grapples with the alienation inherent in his new environment. The city pulses with energy, a dazzling mix of ancient tradition and modern dynamism, yet it feels daunting and isolating to an outsider. Language barriers, cultural customs, and social dynamics conspire to deepen his sense of otherness. This dislocation is visually underscored through scenes of crowded streets, neon-lit alleys, and the vast urban skyline, places where the boy seems small and adrift. Cinematic framing often captures him in moments of solitude amidst these sprawling settings, emphasizing his vulnerability and yearning for connection. Early encounters introduce the complexities of his new social landscape. At school and in the neighborhood, he faces the harsh realities of bullying and exclusion. A group of local youths, skilled in martial arts and protective of their territory, perceive him as an easy target. Their confrontations are not merely physical but symbolic, representing the challenges of assimilation and the assertion of identity in a foreign context. The tension escalates as the boy experiences repeated harassment, each incident chipping away at his confidence and sense of safety. In this crucible of adversity, a pivotal meeting occurs, his chance encounter with a seemingly unremarkable maintenance man who lives quietly in the same apartment complex. This man, reserved and wise, embodies a stark contrast to the urban cacophony. His demeanor is calm, his movements deliberate, and his presence understated yet profound. The boy's initial curiosity about this figure soon evolves into a relationship that becomes central to the narrative's emotional core. This mentor's offer to teach martial arts is not framed as a mere response to bullying but as an invitation to a deeper journey of discipline, self-awareness, and respect. Training begins in unconventional ways. The mentor eschews flashy moves and competitive bravado, instead focusing on fundamental principles through simple, everyday tasks. Scenes of the boy polishing cars, sanding floors, and painting fences unfold with a rhythm that is meditative and purposeful. These chores, often dismissed by the boy at first, gradually reveal their hidden significance as exercises in muscle memory, patience, and mindfulness. The famous wax-on, wax-off sequence emerges here, not only as a training technique but as a metaphor for the transformative power of attention and practice. As training progresses, the boy's physical capabilities improve, but more importantly, his mindset shifts. Lessons in humility, balance, and self-control begin to replace initial frustration and impulsivity. The mentor imparts wisdom that transcends martial arts, touching on life philosophies rooted in respect for oneself and others, harmony with one's environment, and the importance of inner calm amidst external chaos. This pedagogical approach distinguishes the narrative from typical coming-of-age or martial arts films, enriching it with layers of cultural and ethical reflection. Parallel to the training sequences, the film explores the boy's expanding social interactions. His friendship with a local girl, who provides guidance and companionship, offers a window into cultural exchange and mutual understanding. Through their relationship, moments of levity and warmth emerge, balancing the narrative's tension. The girl's insights into local customs and language aid the boy's adaptation, symbolizing bridges between worlds. The rivalry with the antagonist intensifies. The local bully, a skilled martial artist from a prestigious dojo, embodies aggression, entitlement, and cultural pride. His confrontations with the protagonist escalate from verbal taunts to physical altercations, culminating in a climactic challenge to a formal tournament. This conflict is not simply personal but emblematic, an intersection of cultural identity, honor, and the struggle for belonging. The antagonist's role is complex. While often portrayed as the villain, his motivations reflect pride, insecurity, and the pressures of tradition. The narrative stakes heighten as preparations for the tournament unfold. Training scenes gain intensity and focus, with the mentor introducing more advanced techniques and philosophical lessons. The boy's physical and emotional growth is mirrored by his increasing confidence and sense of purpose. Yet doubts linger, underscored by moments of vulnerability and reflection. Cinematic techniques, close-ups on expressions, slow-motion sequences, and dynamic framing underscore the internal stakes alongside the external. Significant plot developments include the boy's confrontation with his own fears and limitations. Scenes depicting setbacks, injuries, and moments of discouragement enrich the portrayal of growth as non-linear and hard-won. The mentor's guidance during these trials emphasizes perseverance and the importance of character over victory. This ethical dimension elevates the story, inviting viewers to contemplate broader themes beyond the immediacy of competition. Cultural immersion deepens throughout this portion of the narrative. The boy participates in traditional festivals, visits temples, and learns about the philosophies underpinning the martial arts he studies. These experiences provide a textured backdrop that situates the personal story within a larger cultural and historical context. Visuals of lantern-lit streets, ornate architecture, and serene landscapes contrast with the urban bustle, creating a layered sense of place that is both enchanting and grounding. The film also explores familial dynamics, particularly the relationship between the boy and his mother. Their move to a foreign land, motivated by her career, introduces themes of sacrifice, protection, and the complexities of parent-child bonds amid upheaval. Scenes capturing their interactions reveal tenderness and tension, illuminating the emotional stakes underpinning the boy's journey. This dimension adds depth and relatability, situating the martial arts narrative within a broader human experience. As the first arc approaches its climax, tensions converge toward the impending tournament. The boys' rivals are formidable, representing established traditions and social hierarchies. The training intensifies, blending physical preparation with mental and spiritual focus. The narrative builds toward a moment of reckoning, not just a test of skill but a trial of the protagonist's transformed identity and values. The mentor's role culminates in poignant counsel, reminding the boy that true mastery is about balance, respect, and inner peace, rather than mere victory or dominance. This philosophical anchor frames the impending conflict with deeper significance. The boy's resolve is tested not only by opponents but by his own doubts and the cultural dissonance he continues to navigate. Visual and auditory elements during this build-up enhance the narrative's emotional texture. The use of sound, rhythmic breathing, the clash of training weapons, ambient city noises, immerses viewers in the protagonist's sensory world. Cinematography shifts between expansive wide shots of training grounds and intimate close-ups of focused expressions, reinforcing the interplay of internal and external struggles. By the close of this segment, the protagonist stands on the threshold of transformation. His physical skills have grown, his understanding of martial arts and self deepened, and his place within his new world more assured. Yet the final challenge looms, promising not only a spectacle of competition but a crucible for identity, respect, and personal growth. This unfolding first part lays a rich foundation, interweaving themes of displacement, cultural encounter, resilience, and ethical growth, while establishing a compelling narrative rhythm. It invites viewers to invest emotionally and intellectually in the boy's journey, preparing them for the dramatic and symbolic resolutions to come. The story's blend of action, philosophy, and human connection creates a textured, resonant experience that transcends genre, promising a transformative cinematic voyage. The tension that has been simmering beneath the surface now rises steadily, as the young protagonist steps ever closer to the defining moment of his journey. The culmination of months of training, self-discovery, and cultural immersion converges in a tournament that is as much a battle of spirit and honor as it is of martial skill. Yet, what unfolds in this final stretch is not a simple story of victory or defeat. It is a nuanced and emotionally charged exploration of transformation, respect, and the complexities of belonging. The tournament arena is a place both sacred and electrifying, a stage where tradition and competition intersect. It is meticulously designed, steeped in cultural symbolism, and brimming with the energy of anticipation. Spectators from varied backgrounds gather, their presence underscoring the communal significance of this event. The film's cinematography captures the scale and intimacy of the scene through sweeping wide shots of the audience juxtaposed with tight close-ups of the fighters' expressions, revealing a kaleidoscope of emotions: determination, anxiety, pride, and respect. As the tournament begins, the boy faces a series of opponents, each encounter revealing different facets of his growth and the values instilled by his mentor. The initial matches serve as rites of passage, testing physical agility, mental focus, and emotional resilience. The choreography of these sequences is precise and dynamic, blending kinetic energy with moments of strategic stillness. Each bout unfolds with narrative purpose, not simply a spectacle but as a dialogue between fighters, expressing their characters' arcs and internal conflicts. Throughout these early rounds, the protagonist's evolving philosophy becomes evident. Unlike some opponents who rely on aggression or showmanship, he embodies balance, humility, and respect, qualities his mentor emphasized as the true essence of martial arts. This approach unsettles certain rivals, who view his style as unconventional or even weak. Yet, these confrontations highlight the thematic contrast between external strength and internal mastery, echoing broader reflections on identity and cultural values. The narrative tension escalates with the emergence of the primary antagonist, an accomplished and confident fighter whose pride and skill are matched by a deep-seated need to prove superiority. Their rivalry, rooted in earlier confrontations and cultural tensions, reaches its apex in the tournament's final rounds. Their matches are charged with emotional intensity and symbolic weight, representing more than personal animosity. They are clashes of worldviews, honor codes, and paths to self-definition. In the build-up to their ultimate confrontation, scenes explore the psychological and emotional states of both fighters. The protagonist wrestles with self-doubt and fear of failure, moments of vulnerability that humanize him and deepen audience empathy. Interspersed are flashbacks to training sessions and mentors' teachings, reinforcing the values that ground his resolve. These interludes serve as narrative anchors, reminding viewers that victory is entwined with personal growth rather than mere physical dominance. The antagonist's preparation and mindset are also examined with nuance. His pride, discipline, and competitive fire are portrayed sympathetically, revealing a character driven by complex motivations rather than simple villainy. This balanced characterization adds layers of tension and ambiguity to the final showdown, inviting viewers to appreciate the multifaceted nature of conflict and rivalry. The climactic match itself is a masterful blend of choreography, cinematography, and sound design. The fighters' movements are fluid and precise, alternating between explosive power and graceful technique. The camera captures the ebb and flow of combat through dynamic angles and slow-motion sequences, emphasizing key moments of impact and hesitation. Sound amplifies the visceral experience, the thud of strikes, the sharp intake of breath, the rising murmur of the crowd, immersing the audience fully in the arena's charged atmosphere. Crucially, the match transcends physical combat to become a profound dialogue of respect, resilience, and self-realization. The protagonist's adherence to his mentor's teachings is tested repeatedly, challenging him to maintain composure and integrity amid provocation and high stakes. Moments of tension give way to revelations, gestures of sportsmanship, strategic retreats, and flashes of vulnerability that highlight the evolving understanding between rivals. This nuanced portrayal elevates the climax beyond a simple contest into a meditation on honor and maturity. Unexpected twists punctuate the final sequence, deepening thematic complexity. The protagonist, despite moments of physical disadvantage, draws strength from inner balance and the community he has built. Conversely, the antagonist faces moments of self-questioning, revealing cracks in his rigid pride. These shifts challenge conventional narratives of heroism and villainy, suggesting that growth and change are possible even amidst competition. Outside the ring, parallel storylines converge toward resolution. The protagonist's relationship with his mother, initially strained by cultural dislocation and stress, softens and strengthens. Scenes of their interactions reveal mutual understanding and support, underscoring themes of family and belonging. The friendship with the local girl also matures, symbolizing the crossing of cultural divides and the forging of genuine connection. The mentor's role culminates in a quietly powerful moment post-tournament, where he offers wisdom that encapsulates the film's core messages about balance, humility, and the ongoing journey of self-mastery. This denouement is less about triumphant victory and more about the enduring values that transcend competition. It invites viewers to reflect on the nature of true strength, which lies in respect for self and others, and in embracing the challenges that shape us. Visually and sonically, the film maintains its evocative atmosphere through the finale. The lighting shifts to warm, golden hues, signaling resolution and hope. Music swells with themes of triumph tempered by introspection, blending traditional motifs with modern orchestration. Editing balances moments of heightened drama with pauses for reflection, allowing emotional beats to resonate fully. The closing scenes offer a contemplative coda, a return to everyday life infused with new meaning. The protagonist walks through the city, no longer an outsider but someone who has carved a space of belonging and self-assurance. The film ends on a note of open possibility, acknowledging that growth is ongoing and that mastery is a lifelong pursuit. This latter portion of the narrative deepens and enriches the film's exploration of cultural encounter, personal transformation, and ethical maturity. By eschewing simplistic resolutions in favor of nuanced character development and thematic complexity, the the story invites viewers to engage thoughtfully with its messages. It celebrates not just physical prowess but the power of empathy, discipline, and respect to bridge divides and shape identity. In essence, the unfolding events and their resolution transform the film from a conventional martial arts tale into a richly layered meditation on what it means to grow, belong, and honor oneself and others. The journey culminates in a finale that is both thrilling and deeply human, leaving audiences with a lasting impression of hope, dignity, and the timeless quest for balance in a complex world. Within the intricate fabric of this cinematic journey, the characters stand as living embodiments of the film's central themes: displacement, growth, resilience, and cultural negotiation. Each figure is more than a mere participant in the plot. They are symbols, mirrors, and catalysts, their inner worlds reflecting the complexities of identity and belonging. To delve deeply into these characters is to unravel the emotional and psychological currents that drive the narrative, enriching our understanding of the story's profound human resonance. The young protagonist occupies the heart of this exploration. At the outset, he is a figure marked by vulnerability and uncertainty, thrust into a world that feels both vast and alien. His physical awkwardness, emotional turmoil, and tentative interactions paint a portrait of adolescence compounded by displacement. Yet, beneath this surface lies a latent strength, a curiosity and determination that slowly emerge as the story unfolds. The film's portrayal of his evolution is subtle and nuanced, capturing the often messy and non-linear path of growth. Psychologically, the boy grapples with the tension between fear and courage, alienation and the yearning for connection. His relocation uproots his sense of self, challenging the foundations of identity built in familiar surroundings. This internal conflict is vividly portrayed through moments of doubt, frustration, and longing, balanced by flashes of hope and resilience. His journey toward self-mastery is both external, in mastering martial arts, and internal, in reclaiming agency and forging belonging in a new cultural landscape. The mentor figure serves as both guide and symbol. His unassuming exterior belies a profound wellspring of wisdom and experience. He embodies principles of humility, patience, and harmony, offering an alternative to the aggressive and competitive values prevalent in the boy's environment. His teaching style, rooted in simple everyday tasks transformed into disciplined practice, reflects a philosophy that transcends physical combat, emphasizing character and balance. This mentor's role extends beyond instruction. He is a stabilizing presence, a cultural bridge, and a repository of tradition. His interactions with the protagonist reveal layers of respect, trust, and mutual growth. Through him, the film explores themes of intergenerational knowledge transmission and the ethical dimensions of mastery. His quiet strength and compassion invite viewers to reconsider conventional notions of power and authority. The antagonist embodies a complex mixture of pride, skill, and insecurity. As the primary rival, he is both foil and mirror to the protagonist, embodying the pressures of tradition, cultural pride, and the desire for dominance. His aggression and confidence mask deeper vulnerabilities and the burden of expectation. The film's nuanced characterization prevents him from becoming a simple villain. Instead, he represents the challenges and contradictions inherent in identity formation within rigid social structures. His interactions with the protagonist are charged with symbolic significance. Their rivalry is not merely physical but ideological, a clash between differing conceptions of honor, strength, and selfhood. The antagonist's journey, though less central, offers insight into the costs of pride and the potential for growth through confrontation and reflection. This complexity enriches the narrative, inviting empathy and critical engagement. Supporting characters add texture and depth to the emotional landscape. The mother's role is pivotal, representing both source of support and symbol of sacrifice. Her decision to relocate for career reasons introduces familial tensions and underscores the challenges of balancing personal ambition with parental responsibility. Scenes depicting their relationship reveal tenderness, frustration, and mutual care, highlighting the film's attention to the intricacies of family dynamics amid upheaval. The young girl who befriends the protagonist serves as a cultural mediator and emotional anchor. Her familiarity with local customs and language provides a vital bridge for the boy, facilitating his adaptation and offering moments of warmth and connection. Their friendship symbolizes the potential for cross-cultural understanding and the breaking down of barriers. Her presence challenges stereotypes and enriches the narrative's exploration of belonging. Other secondary figures, friends, schoolmates, community members, populate the world with varying degrees of support and opposition. Their interactions with the protagonist illustrate the social realities of assimilation, including acceptance, exclusion, and the negotiation of identity within group dynamics. These relationships contribute to a realistic and textured portrayal of the immigrant experience. Throughout the film, characters are defined as much by their gestures, expressions, and physicality as by dialogue. The director's attention to subtle performances, moments of hesitation, eye contact, posture, invites viewers into the unspoken emotional currents that shape relationships. The contrast between restrained emotion in the waking world and expressive movement during training sequences further delineates character states and growth. Symbolically, the characters represent broader themes. The protagonist's dual role as outsider and learner embodies the universal quest for self-understanding amid change. The mentor signifies tradition, wisdom, and ethical grounding. The antagonist reflects challenges of pride, conformity, and the shadow aspects of identity. These archetypal resonances enrich the film's interpretive possibilities, linking individual stories to collective human experiences. The evolution of characters is closely tied to the film's thematic trajectory. Growth is portrayed as a dynamic interplay between external challenges and internal transformation. Characters face moments of failure, doubt, and conflict, yet through perseverance and reflection, they move toward integration and maturity. This process underscores the film's message that true strength arises from balance, humility, and connection. In terms of casting and performance, actors bring remarkable depth and authenticity. The young protagonist's portrayal captures the vulnerability and determination of adolescence with nuance, avoiding clichés in favor of emotional honesty. The mentor's actor conveys wisdom and warmth through subtle vocal and physical expression, anchoring the narrative's moral center. The antagonist's performance balances intensity with complexity, eliciting both tension and sympathy. The chemistry among actors enhances character relationships, creating believable dynamics that engage viewers emotionally. Scenes of confrontation crackle with energy, while moments of quiet interaction resonate with intimacy. This range of performance styles supports the film's layered storytelling, making abstract themes feel lived and immediate. In summary, the film's characters form a rich mosaic of human experience, each contributing unique perspectives on identity, culture, and growth. Their psychological complexity and symbolic depth invite viewers to engage thoughtfully and empathetically, transforming the narrative into a resonant exploration of what it means to find one's place amid change. Through these characters, the story transcends its plot to become a universal meditation on resilience, respect, and the enduring journey towards selfhood. Beneath the polished surface of the film's vibrant streets and graceful fight scenes lies a world of curious stories and unexpected moments that shaped its creation. Tales that, while hidden from the audience's gaze, reveal the human spirit and ingenuity driving this cinematic endeavor. The making of the film was a complex, multi-layered process marked by cultural challenges, technical innovations, and a few delightful surprises that have since become part of its lore. Exploring these strangest facts provides not only an entertaining glimpse behind the scenes but also a deeper appreciation for the dedication and creativity that brought the story to life. One of the most striking behind-the-scenes facts revolves around the film's location shooting. The production team chose Beijing as the primary backdrop, embracing the city's rich cultural tapestry and striking contrasts between ancient tradition and modernity. However, filming in such a bustling metropolis brought logistical challenges that tested the crew's flexibility and resolve. Streets thronged with pedestrians and traffic, weather conditions fluctuated unpredictably, and the crew had to navigate local regulations and customs with care. Yet these hurdles fostered an atmosphere of camaraderie and problem-solving, as filmmakers adapted on the fly to capture authentic scenes that imbued the film with texture and realism. A particularly unusual occurrence happened during the filming of a pivotal street fight scene. The crew had carefully choreographed the action sequence, rehearsing it meticulously in a closed set. However, when the day of shooting arrived, a spontaneous crowd gathered, locals curious about the spectacle, causing unexpected disruptions. Rather than halting production, the director embraced the energy, incorporating the reactions and ambient sounds of onlookers into the scene. This serendipitous choice enhanced the authenticity and vibrancy of the sequence, turning an obstacle into an asset. The martial arts choreography itself bears fascinating backstory. The film's fight scenes were crafted with input from renowned martial arts experts who sought to blend traditional kung fu techniques with cinematic flair. The young lead actor underwent intensive training, not only to execute the moves convincingly but to embody the discipline and philosophy underpinning the martial arts depicted. Stories from the training period recount grueling physical challenges, moments of breakthrough, and the forging of deep bonds between cast and coaches. This dedication shines through in the fluidity and precision of the film's combat sequences, grounding them in genuine skill. An interesting tidbit involves the iconic wax-on, wax-off training scene, which became a cultural touchstone from the original narrative and was reimagined with fresh cultural context. The sequence's execution required inventive approaches to convey the transformation from mundane chore to profound lesson. The crew experimented with camera angles, lighting, and pacing to capture the protagonist's evolving perception, shifting from frustration to insight. Behind the scenes, the actor's struggle with the repetitive motions was met with humor and encouragement, underscoring the human dimension behind the artistry. Another unusual production story concerns the musical score. The composer sought to fuse traditional Chinese instruments and motifs with contemporary orchestration, reflecting the film's thematic blend of heritage and modernity. To capture authentic sounds, recording sessions took place in culturally significant locations, with musicians playing rare instruments. The composer's process involved collaboration with ethnomusicologists and local artists, enriching the soundtrack's depth. Some of these recording sessions included spontaneous improvisations that found their way into the final cut, adding an organic vibrancy to the music. The film's casting process also produced surprising anecdotes. While the lead was selected after a rigorous audition process emphasizing acting and physical ability, several supporting roles were filled through unconventional means. For example, local residents and non-professional actors were cast to lend authenticity to crowd scenes and neighborhood interactions. This choice sometimes led to charming unpredictability on set, with moments of genuine surprise and cultural nuance that enriched the film's texture. The director's openness to incorporating local talent reflects a commitment to grounding the narrative in lived experience. One particularly curious fact involves the director's personal connection to the story. Though renowned for his work in other genres, his passion for the themes of mentorship, growth, and cross-cultural exchange inspired him to take on this project. Interviews reveal that he immersed himself in martial arts philosophy and Chinese culture, consulting extensively with experts to ensure respectful and nuanced representation. His hands-on approach extended to frequent visits to training sessions and daily interactions with cast and crew, fostering a collaborative and immersive production environment. Technical challenges abounded, given the film's ambition to balance realism with stylized action. The cinematography team employed innovative techniques to capture fast-paced fight sequences with clarity and dynamism. High-speed cameras, carefully choreographed tracking shots, and inventive lighting setups were used to emphasize movement and emotion. Some scenes required multiple takes and elaborate rigging to achieve the desired effect, with crews often working long hours under intense conditions. Yet these efforts resulted in a visual language that is both thrilling and deeply expressive. Visual effects were utilized judiciously to enhance scenes without overwhelming the grounded aesthetic. For instance, subtle digital enhancements helped smooth transitions and emphasize impact, while preserving the tangible qualities of physical performance. The balance struck between practical effects and digital augmentation reflects the filmmaker's desire to maintain authenticity while embracing modern tools. A fascinating behind-the-scenes moment occurred during the filming of a serene temple sequence. The production secured access to a historic site, but unforeseen complications arose due to local festivals and conservation concerns. The crew adapted by integrating ambient cultural activities into the background, capturing moments of ceremony and daily life that added layers of meaning and beauty to the film. This blending of narrative and documentary elements enhanced the setting's authenticity and symbolic resonance. Costume design also offered intriguing insights. The team undertook extensive research into traditional Chinese attire and martial arts uniforms, seeking to balance historical accuracy with cinematic functionality. The protagonist's transformation was visually supported through wardrobe evolution, from casual, disconnected clothing to attire that reflected discipline and cultural integration. Subtle details in fabric, color, and style conveyed character development and thematic depth, illustrating the visual storytelling's meticulous craft. The editing process was marked by spirited collaboration. Editors and the director engaged in numerous test screenings and revisions to balance pacing, clarity, and emotional impact. Feedback from early viewers informed adjustments that sharpened narrative flow without sacrificing the film's contemplative qualities. This iterative approach ensured a final cut that resonates both intellectually and viscerally. Marketing the film presented unique challenges due to its cross-cultural narrative and mature themes. The campaign emphasized the universal nature of its story, growth, mentorship, and resilience, while celebrating its authentic cultural grounding. Promotional materials included behind-the-scenes footage, interviews, and demonstrations of martial arts philosophy, engaging audiences beyond typical action fare. This approach broadened the film's appeal and helped establish its distinctive identity. Audience reception over time has generated a wealth of fan-driven trivia and interpretations. Communities have sprung up analyzing the film's cultural symbolism, martial arts choreography, and character arcs. Some fans share personal stories of how the film inspired their own journeys of discipline and cross-cultural understanding. These grassroots engagements attest to the film's lasting impact and the resonance of its themes. Reflecting on these strangest facts reveals a production marked by curiosity, dedication, and a willingness to embrace unpredictability. The film's creation was a complex dance of tradition and innovation, challenge and serendipity, a process as dynamic and layered as the story it tells. These behind-the-scenes tales enrich our appreciation, reminding us that cinema is a collaborative art shaped by countless unseen moments of creativity and humanity. Ultimately, the film's making is a testament to the power of storytelling to bridge cultures and inspire growth. The fascinating anecdotes and production challenges illuminate the remarkable efforts that coalesced into a work that continues to captivate and move audiences worldwide. An enduring celebration of resilience, respect, and transformation. The narrative unfolds not merely as a sequence of events, but as a carefully orchestrated interplay of moments charged with thematic weight and emotional intensity. To engage critically with these significant events is to peel back layers of meaning, to explore how each scene operates on multiple registers, narrative, symbolic, cultural, and how these intertwine to shape the film's enduring impact. It is through this lens that we come to appreciate the film's depth, its resonance, and its place within broader cinematic and cultural conversations. At the outset, the film's introduction of the protagonist's displacement establishes a critical foundation. This relocation from Detroit to Beijing is more than a plot device. It crystallizes themes of alienation, identity, and cultural negotiation that reverberate throughout the story. The initial scenes depicting the protagonist's struggle to adapt to language barriers, unfamiliar customs, and social exclusion invite viewers to consider the psychological complexities of immigration and acculturation. This framing challenges simplistic notions of assimilation, instead presenting a textured exploration of belonging that resonates with contemporary global realities. The depiction of bullying and social marginalization serves as a potent catalyst for character development and thematic exploration. From a critical standpoint, these confrontations are emblematic of power dynamics within social groups and cultural hierarchies. The antagonists embody not only personal aggression but collective assertion of cultural identity and dominance, complicating the narrative's moral landscape. This complexity prevents reductive hero-villain dichotomies, encouraging viewers to interrogate the intersections of culture, identity, and power. The film thus participates in discourses on otherness and the politics of inclusion. From the outset, the filmmakers committed to authentic representation, setting the production largely in Beijing to capture the city's vibrant pulse and cultural richness. This decision was both artistically motivated and logistically complex. Filming on location meant navigating the practicalities of shooting in a bustling metropolis, securing permits, coordinating with local authorities, and adapting to the city's rhythms and regulations. The crew had to be agile and resourceful, often adjusting schedules and setups to accommodate unexpected street activity, whether shifts or community events. Yet these challenges fostered a production atmosphere marked by resilience and teamwork. A particularly memorable behind-the-scenes story involves the filming of outdoor sequences near historical landmarks. To respect local customs and conservation rules, the team worked closely with heritage officials, blending modern cinematic techniques with traditional aesthetics. On one occasion, a carefully choreographed fight scene was interrupted by a spontaneous cultural festival. Instead of postponing, the director incorporated elements of the festival's color and music into the scene, enriching its texture and cultural resonance. This improvisation exemplified the production's openness to embracing the living culture around it. Casting presented its own set of discoveries. While lead roles were filled through a competitive audition process emphasizing martial arts proficiency and acting skill, many supporting and background roles were filled by local actors and residents. This choice added authenticity and spontaneity to crowd scenes and neighborhood interactions. The director valued this blend of professional and non-professional talent, believing it lent the film a naturalistic vibrancy that studio sets could not replicate. Several local participants later recounted the excitement and pride of being part of a major international production. Training the cast, especially the young lead, was a cornerstone of the filmmaking process. The actor underwent rigorous martial arts preparation under the guidance of expert choreographers and masters, spending months developing physical technique, stamina, and the philosophical underpinnings of the discipline. Training was intense and transformative, involving early mornings, strict routines, and immersive lessons in the cultural context of martial arts. Anecdotes from this period reveal moments of camaraderie, frustration, breakthrough, and humor, such as a scene where repetitive drills led to unexpected bursts of laughter, breaking tension and deepening group bonds. The fight choreography itself was a collaboration between the director, stunt coordinators, and martial arts consultants, aimed at blending realism with cinematic flair. The goal was to craft sequences that were both thrilling and emotionally expressive, using body language to convey character growth and internal conflict. Detailed rehearsals and innovative camera work, such as slow motion and dynamic tracking shots, were employed to capture the nuance and intensity of each movement. The choreographer's dedication ensured that the action scenes served narrative and thematic functions rather than mere spectacle. Technical innovations played a significant role in production. Cinematographers employed advanced camera rigs and stabilization systems to navigate tight urban spaces and capture fluid fight sequences. Lighting designers balanced natural and artificial light to evoke mood and cultural atmosphere, adapting to changing conditions while maintaining visual coherence. The sound team developed intricate designs to blend city ambience with the subtle sounds of martial arts, the swoosh of limbs, the tap of feet, the controlled breath, creating an immersive auditory experience. Editing was a meticulous process that balanced pacing, clarity, and emotional resonance. The non-linear elements of the narrative required thoughtful assembly to maintain viewer engagement without sacrificing thematic complexity. Editors worked closely with the director, iterating sequences based on test screenings and creative discussions. The interplay of fast-paced action with quieter, reflective moments demanded a dynamic yet coherent rhythm, one that mirrored the protagonist's evolving inner journey. The musical score, a fusion of traditional Chinese instruments and contemporary orchestration, was crafted to complement both the physical and emotional landscapes of the film. Composers collaborated with ethnomusicologists and local musicians, recording sessions in culturally significant venues to capture authentic sounds. The soundtrack weaves through the narrative, underscoring themes of transformation, tension, and harmony. Anecdotes recount moments where spontaneous improvisations during recording enriched key scenes, adding layers of texture and mood. Costume and production design reflected a commitment to authenticity balanced with cinematic storytelling. Designers researched martial arts uniforms, traditional garments, and contemporary fashion, blending these elements to visually narrate character development and cultural context. Subtle details, fabric textures, colors, and patterns were carefully chosen to symbolize themes such as discipline, growth, and cultural blending. These visual choices supported the film's thematic intentions, reinforcing narrative arcs through sartorial storytelling. One behind-the-scenes highlight involved a complex scene set in a historic temple. The crew faced logistical hurdles including preservation restrictions and limited access, but through careful planning and negotiation, they succeeded in capturing evocative footage that conveyed spiritual depth and cultural reverence. The experience fostered mutual respect between filmmakers and local custodians, exemplifying the film's broader ethos of cultural sensitivity and collaboration. Throughout production, the director's leadership style was characterized by openness, rigor, and a deep respect for the craft. He maintained close relationships with all departments, often engaging in hands-on problem-solving and creative brainstorming. Cast and crew describe him as both demanding and supportive, a visionary who inspired excellence while nurturing individual contributions. This collaborative environment fostered innovation and allowed the film's complex vision to emerge cohesively. Marketing and distribution posed challenges due to the film's cross-cultural narrative and genre hybridity. The promotional strategy emphasized universal themes, growth, mentorship, respect, while showcasing the film's stunning visuals and action. Special screenings at international film festivals helped build buzz and critical acclaim, gradually expanding the film's audience beyond traditional martial arts enthusiasts. The campaign's success illustrated the power of thoughtful positioning in connecting diverse viewers to culturally specific stories. In the years since release, fan communities have cultivated a rich culture of appreciation and analysis. Online forums, fan art, and discussion groups explore the film's cultural symbolism, character arcs, and choreography, keeping the conversation alive. Many viewers share personal stories of inspiration drawn from the film's themes of perseverance and cross-cultural understanding, testifying to its emotional reach. Reflecting on these production insights and fun facts reveals a creative journey marked by passion, adaptability, and respect. The film's making was a complex dance between tradition and innovation. The mentor-mentee relationship emerges as a central axis for critical analysis. The mentor's teaching philosophy, rooted in humility, patience, and respect, offers a counter-narrative to dominant models of competition and aggression often portrayed in martial arts cinema. This approach aligns with Eastern philosophical traditions, particularly Taoism and Confucianism, which emphasize harmony, balance, and ethical conduct. By foregrounding these principles, the film challenges westernized notions of masculinity and success, proposing an alternative framework that privileges inner growth over external conquest. Key training sequences, particularly the transformation of mundane chores into martial arts lessons, operate on symbolic and pedagogical levels. The wax-on, wax-off motif exemplifies this dual function, subverting audience expectations and highlighting the value of discipline and mindfulness. From a cinematic perspective, these scenes employ rhythm, repetition, and visual metaphor to convey psychological processes. Learning is gradual, embodied, and holistic. This thematic layering enriches the narrative, inviting viewers to reflect on the nature of education, mastery, and personal evolution. The cultural immersion depicted through festivals, language acquisition, and rituals situates the narrative within a broader socio-cultural context. These moments serve as visual and narrative bridges between East and West, underscoring themes of cultural hybridity and exchange. Critically, the film navigates the potential pitfalls of exoticism by portraying cultural practices with respect and authenticity, facilitated by extensive research and local collaboration. This approach contributes to the film's positive reception and opens avenues for discussions on representation and globalization in cinema. The escalating rivalry culminates in the tournament, a site rich for critical interpretation. This climax operates simultaneously as a spectacle of physical prowess and a symbolic arena for ethical and cultural contestation. The choreography, pacing, and cinematography of the fights are crafted to underscore not only skill but character. Moments of restraint, respect, and strategic thinking contrast with displays of aggression and arrogance. This dual focus aligns with the film's overarching thematic concern. True mastery involves harmony between body, mind, and spirit. The final confrontation between protagonist and antagonist is especially ripe for analysis. Rather than a simplistic victory of good over evil, the encounter is nuanced and layered. The protagonist's adherence to his mentor's teachings, humility, balance, respect, positions him not only as a fighter but as a moral exemplar. Conversely, the antagonist's pride and aggression reveal vulnerabilities and tensions that complicate his role. This ambivalence challenges conventional narratives of heroism, inviting viewers to consider the complexities of identity and honor within competitive frameworks. Critical reception of these events has highlighted the film's capacity to transcend genre conventions. Scholars and reviewers commend its integration of philosophical inquiry with engaging narrative, noting how key scenes serve as sites for reflection on masculinity, cultural encounter, and ethical conduct. The film's refusal to indulge in gratuitous violence or simplistic triumph narratives distinguishes it within the martial arts genre and broadens its appeal to diverse audiences. Emotional resonance emerges from the authenticity and vulnerability conveyed through these pivotal moments. The protagonist's internal struggles, fear, doubt, determination, are rendered with sensitivity, fostering empathy and investment. The mentor's calm wisdom and the antagonist's complex portrayal deepen the emotional texture, ensuring that the stakes feel personal and universal. This affective dimension contributes significantly to the film's lasting impact, as viewers connect emotionally with characters navigating challenges reflective of their own experiences. Cinematically, the film employs visual and auditory techniques that amplify the thematic and emotional potency of these events. The use of lighting, contrasting harsh urban brightness with warm, intimate interiors, mirrors psychological states and narrative shifts. Editing rhythms modulate tension and release, guiding viewer engagement through moments of action and contemplation. The sound design and score evoke cultural atmospheres and emotional undertones, enhancing immersion and nuance. From a broader cultural perspective, the film participates in ongoing dialogues about representation, globalization, and intercultural understanding. Its depiction of cross-cultural friendship and mutual respect challenges stereotypes and promotes nuanced perspectives. The narrative's focus on ethical growth rather than conquest offers a refreshing counterpoint to dominant Hollywood tropes, contributing to scholarly and popular discourses on diversity and inclusivity. Audience responses further underscore the significance of these critical events. Many viewers report personal identification with the protagonist's journey of displacement and self-discovery, finding inspiration in his perseverance and transformation. The film's respectful portrayal of Chinese culture has been praised for fostering cross-cultural appreciation. Conversely, some critiques have emerged regarding narrative familiarity, yet these are often tempered by acknowledgement of the film's emotional sincerity and thematic depth. In sum, the film's significant events function as more than plot milestones. They are integral to its intellectual and emotional architecture. Through nuanced characterization, thematic layering, and cinematic craftsmanship, these moments invite viewers to engage with complex questions of identity, culture, and ethics. The film's impact and reception testify to its success in weaving a story that is at once entertaining, thought-provoking, and deeply human. A work that continues to resonate across cultural and temporal boundaries. The making of this film stands as a testament to creative ambition and cultural collaboration, a cinematic venture that brought together a diverse team of artists, technicians, and storytellers united by a shared vision. Behind the polished frames and dynamic action sequences lies a production process rich with fascinating insights, unexpected challenges, and moments of serendipity that shape the final work in profound ways. Exploring these production stories not only illuminates the film's artistry but also reveals the human spirit and ingenuity animating every frame. From the outset, the filmmakers committed to authentic representation, setting the production largely in Beijing to capture the city's vibrant pulse and cultural richness. This decision was both artistically motivated and logistically complex. Filming on location meant navigating the practicalities of shooting in a bustling metropolis, securing permits, coordinating with local authorities, and adapting to the city's rhythms and regulations. The crew had to be agile and resourceful, often adjusting schedules and setups to accommodate unexpected street activity, whether shifts or community events. Yet these challenges fostered a production atmosphere marked by resilience and teamwork. A particularly memorable behind-the-scenes story involves the filming of outdoor sequences near historical landmarks. Reflecting on these production insights and fun facts reveals a creative journey marked by passion, adaptability, and respect. The film's making was a complex dance between tradition and innovation, challenge and inspiration, a process as dynamic and layered as the story it tells. These behind-the-scenes narratives deepen our appreciation, reminding us that cinema is a human endeavor shaped by countless moments of creativity, resilience, and connection. Ultimately, the film's creation stands as a vibrant example of collaborative artistry and cultural dialogue. The fascinating anecdotes and production challenges illuminate the extraordinary efforts that coalesced into a work that continues to captivate audiences worldwide. A lasting celebration of growth, respect, and transformation in a globalized world. The world that unfolds across the screen in this film is much more than a mere backdrop for action and dialogue. It is a living, breathing character in its own right. From the bustling streets of Beijing to the serene quietude of ancient temples and training grounds, every setting is meticulously crafted to enrich the narrative's emotional and thematic depth. This richly textured environment acts as both a physical and symbolic landscape, where cultural contrasts, personal growth, and internal conflicts are mirrored and magnified. To fully appreciate the film's power, we must immerse ourselves in its settings and cinematic elements, tracing how place and visual storytelling intertwine to create an immersive and evocative experience. The choice of Beijing as the principal location is integral to the film's identity. The city's sprawling urban tapestry, where gleaming skyscrapers rise alongside narrow alleyways and centuries-old courtyards, provides a striking visual metaphor for the intersection of tradition and modernity. The filmmakers capture this duality through a careful selection of shooting sites that juxtapose the ancient and the contemporary, reflecting the protagonist's own journey between worlds. Streets pulsate with neon lights and the din of traffic, yet pockets of calm emerge in shaded parks, ornate temples, and tranquil gardens. This contrast not only grounds the narrative in a specific cultural milieu but also visually expresses themes of balance, displacement, and harmony. Cinematographically, the urban environment is rendered with a dynamic energy. Sweeping wide shots convey the city's vastness and complexity, emphasizing the protagonist's initial feelings of smallness and alienation. Handheld camera work and tight framing capture intimate moments amid the crowd, drawing viewers into the sensory overload and emotional turbulence of adapting to a new environment. The interplay of light and shadow in narrow streets and bustling markets creates a mood that oscillates between excitement and unease, mirroring the protagonist's conflicted experience. The film's training sequences take place in settings that contrast sharply with the urban chaos, spaces imbued with calm, order, and ritual. The mentor's workshop, modest yet purposeful, becomes a sanctuary where learning unfolds through repetition and mindfulness. The aesthetics here emphasize simplicity and function, with muted colors, natural materials, and minimal distractions. These visual choices underscore the philosophical underpinnings of the martial arts being taught, a focus on discipline, presence, and inner balance. Cinematography in these scenes employs steady, measured camera movements and soft lighting to evoke a contemplative atmosphere. Beyond the workshop, the film introduces more expansive natural settings, verdant parks, tranquil lakes, and mist-shrouded mountains, that serve as sites of spiritual and physical training. These locations are rendered with a painterly sensibility, capturing light filtering through leaves, the ripple of water, and the texture of stone. The camera lingers on details that might otherwise be overlooked, the sway of bamboo, the curve of a riverbank, the flutter of a crane in flight. These visual motifs enrich the film's thematic resonance, connecting martial arts practice to the rhythms of nature and the flow of life. Symbolism is embedded throughout the film's spatial design. For example, the recurring presence of the crane, a bird emblematic of grace, longevity, and balance in Chinese culture, anchors the narrative's meditation on harmony and mastery. Scenes where the crane appears, whether in flight or stillness, are often juxtaposed with moments of training or introspection, visually linking character growth with natural symbolism. Similarly, architectural elements such as archways, staircases, and courtyards serve as metaphors for thresholds, progression, and reflection. Color grading plays a vital role in differentiating narrative spaces and emotional states. The urban scenes employ a palette dominated by cool blues, grays, and neon accents, creating a sense of alienation and modernity. In contrast, training and nature sequences favor warmer, earthy tones, rich greens, soft browns, and golden light that evoke comfort, tradition, and inner peace. This chromatic contrast visually reinforces the protagonist's psychological journey from confusion to clarity, from external chaos to internal harmony. Lighting design within the film is deliberate and nuanced. Cityscapes are often bathed in artificial light, street lamps, neon signs, car headlights, casting sharp contrasts and deep shadows. These lighting conditions heighten feelings of disorientation and tension, amplifying the narrative stakes. By contrast, scenes within the training environments utilize natural light, sunbeams filtering through windows, candlelight flickering against walls, to create intimacy and warmth. The interplay of light and darkness also functions symbolically, reflecting themes of knowledge and ignorance, control and surrender. The film's use of framing and composition further enhances mood and meaning. The protagonist is frequently placed in compositions that emphasize his solitude or marginalization. Small figures dwarfed by towering buildings or framed within restrictive architectural forms. Conversely, moments of empowerment are depicted through expansive framing, open spaces, and balanced symmetry, visually narrating his psychological evolution. The juxtaposition of close-ups and wide shots invites viewers to oscillate between personal intimacy and broader contextual understanding. Editing rhythm complements the visual storytelling, modulating tempo to reflect narrative shifts and emotional beats. Action sequences feature rapid cuts and dynamic camera movements, evoking excitement and tension. Training and reflective scenes employ longer takes and slower pacing, allowing moments to breathe and resonate. This interplay shapes the viewer's sensory experience, guiding engagement through suspense, contemplation, and catharsis. Sound design intricately weaves with the visual elements to create a multi-sensory atmosphere. The urban environment is alive with layered ambient sounds, traffic hum, market chatter, distant sirens, that ground scenes in reality while occasionally overwhelming the protagonist's senses. In contrast, training and nature settings are accompanied by subtle, calming sounds, rustling leaves, flowing water, measured breathing, that foster a sense of presence and focus. The interplay between these soundscapes mirrors the film's thematic tensions between external challenge and internal equilibrium. Musical score further enriches the cinematic atmosphere. Composers blend traditional Chinese instruments such as the erhu and guzheng with modern orchestral textures, creating a soundscape that is both culturally rooted and universally evocative. Themes vary from energetic and rhythmic during training and competition to gentle and introspective during moments of personal growth. Music cues are carefully timed to heighten emotional impact and underscore narrative arcs. Costume design intersects with setting to visually delineate character transformation. The protagonist's wardrobe evolves from casual, loosely fitting Western-style clothes, reflecting his initial outsider status, to more tailored, culturally influenced attire that signifies integration and confidence. The mentor's simple, functional garments contrast with the vibrant and disciplined uniforms worn during martial arts practice, highlighting themes of humility and mastery. The film's production design also thoughtfully integrates cultural artifacts and iconography. Scenes incorporate calligraphy, traditional paintings, and martial arts equipment, grounding the narrative in a rich cultural context. These elements serve dual functions, enhancing authenticity and providing symbolic texture. The careful placement and lighting of such details invite attentive viewers to engage with the film's cultural dialogue. Visual effects, while sparingly used, support the film's aesthetic without overwhelming it. Subtle enhancements smooth transitions, emphasize motion, or augment atmospheric elements like mist or light rays. This restrained use of technology maintains the tactile, human quality of the cinematography, preserving immersion and emotional connection. The film's climactic scenes capitalize on setting and cinematic elements to heighten dramatic tension. The tournament arena is a visually arresting space, ornate, traditional, yet charged with modern spectacle. Cinematography employs dramatic lighting, varied camera angles, and dynamic editing to immerse the viewer in the intensity of competition and the weight of cultural expectation. The spatial arrangement emphasizes both the communal nature of the event and the personal stakes for the protagonist. In the film's denouement, settings shift to quieter, more personal spaces that reflect resolution and introspection. Soft, natural light, warm color tones, and serene compositions evoke a sense of harmony restored. These final scenes visually encapsulate the protagonist's journey from alienation to belonging, from confusion to clarity. In sum, the film's settings and cinematic elements form a meticulously crafted sensory and symbolic ecosystem. Every location, from crowded city streets to tranquil training grounds, contributes layers of meaning and mood. Cinematography, lighting, sound, music, and design interlock to create an immersive world that supports and enhances the narrative's thematic ambitions. This rich interplay invites viewers not only to witness but to feel the protagonist's transformation, making the film a vivid and resonant meditation on culture, identity, and the pursuit of balance. The making of this film was a vibrant, dynamic adventure, a journey filled with unexpected challenges, moments of joy, and a palpable sense of camaraderie that threaded through the entire production. Beneath the polished final product lies a rich tapestry of behind-the-scenes stories that reveal not only the complexity of the filmmaking process but the deeply human experiences of the cast and crew. These moments of spontaneity, collaboration, and perseverance bring to life the spirit that fueled this cinematic endeavor and remind us that every frame on screen is the result of countless unseen hours of dedication and creativity. From the outset, the production faced the inherent challenge of shooting in one of the world's busiest and most culturally rich cities, Beijing. The crew had to navigate the city's bustling streets, crowded markets, and historic neighborhoods, all while balancing the logistical demands of a major film shoot. Filming in public spaces required meticulous coordination with local authorities, adherence to strict regulations, and the ability to adapt quickly to the rhythms of daily life. Yet these challenges became opportunities for the team to capture authentic moments of city life, blending the narrative with the organic pulse of the environment. One particularly memorable anecdote comes from a day of shooting in a crowded market. The scene involved a tense encounter between characters, requiring precise choreography amid a sea of curious onlookers. Mid-filming, a local street performer began an impromptu show nearby, drawing a crowd and threatening to disrupt the take. Instead of pausing, the director embraced the unexpected energy, incorporating the performer's movements and the crowd's reactions into the scene. This spontaneous adaptation injected vibrancy and realism into the footage, exemplifying the crew's flexibility and creative spirit. The training sequences demanded a different kind of challenge. The young lead actor embarked on an intensive physical regimen that tested his endurance and discipline. Martial arts coaches crafted a program not only to teach fighting techniques but to instill a deeper understanding of the philosophies underlying the practice. The actors' days were filled with rigorous drills, meditation sessions, and lessons in cultural history. Despite the physical toll, many cast and crew members recall the atmosphere on set as supportive and inspiring, with coaches and actors forming close bonds rooted in mutual respect and shared goals. During one training montage, the actor struggled with a particularly demanding sequence of movements. Frustration mounted until a coach intervened with humor and encouragement, turning the moment into a light-hearted challenge. The ensuing laughter eased tension and renewed the actor's confidence. Stories like these reveal the humanity behind the polished performances, reminding us that mastery is as much about perseverance and mindset as skill. The fight choreography was another area of intense collaboration and innovation. The stunt coordinators, martial arts consultants, and cinematographers worked closely to design sequences that were both realistic and cinematically compelling. Coordinating camera angles, actor movements, and safety protocols required meticulous planning. Yet the atmosphere was far from clinical. Spontaneous moments of improvisation often arose, with actors and stunt performers suggesting adjustments that enhanced the flow and emotional impact. The director welcomed these contributions, fostering a creative dialogue that elevated the action beyond technical execution. A striking behind-the-scenes story involves the filming of the film's climactic tournament scenes. The set was constructed to replicate an ancient-style arena, complete with elaborate decorations and authentic architectural details. During shooting, unexpected weather changes forced the crew to adjust lighting and scheduling rapidly. The cast and crew, undeterred, improvised with lighting gels and reflectors to maintain visual continuity. These adaptations not only solved practical problems but enriched the scenes with naturalistic textures, shifting sunlight, shadows, and atmospheric effects that enhanced the mood. Interactions among the cast fostered a warm and collaborative environment. The lead actors, many working far from their home countries and languages. These adaptations not only solved practical problems but enriched the scenes with naturalistic textures, shifting sunlight, shadows, and atmospheric effects that enhanced the mood. Interactions among the cast fostered a warm and collaborative environment. The lead actors, many working far from their home countries and languages, formed friendships that transcended cultural differences. Off-camera, they shared meals, explored the city together, and supported one another through the demands of the shoot. These relationships contributed to on-screen chemistry and created a sense of community that sustained morale during long, physically demanding days. The director's leadership style played a crucial role in shaping the set's atmosphere. Known for balancing meticulous preparation with openness to spontaneity, he encouraged input from all departments and valued creative risk-taking. Cast and crew describe him as approachable and passionate, someone who engaged deeply with both the technical and emotional aspects of filmmaking. His presence was a steadying influence amid the chaos of production, inspiring trust and commitment. Technical challenges were numerous and varied. Filming fast-paced fight scenes in confined urban spaces demanded innovative solutions. The cinematography team developed custom rigs to capture dynamic angles while ensuring safety and precision. Sound engineers contended with the cacophony of city life, working to isolate dialogue and effects amid ambient noise. Post-production teams faced the task of seamlessly blending practical effects with subtle enhancements to maintain the film's grounded aesthetic. One particularly creative solution emerged during a scene involving a nighttime chase through narrow alleyways. To capture fluid motion and maintain visibility without disrupting the scene's realism, the crew employed handheld LED panels concealed among street vendor stalls. This inventive lighting allowed actors' movements to be illuminated naturally while preserving the environment's atmosphere. Costume design also posed unique challenges. Balancing historical and cultural authenticity with practical considerations for action sequences required extensive research and experimentation. Designers crafted garments that allowed freedom of movement without sacrificing visual storytelling. Some costumes incorporated traditional fabrics and techniques, creating a tactile connection to cultural heritage. The team's attention to detail extended to accessories and props, many sourced locally or custom-made to enhance realism. Post-production was marked by a spirit of collaboration and iterative refinement. Editors and visual effects artists worked closely with the director to shape pacing and tone, ensuring that action sequences maintained clarity while emotional beats resonated. Sound mixing balanced the complex layers of dialogue, ambient sound, and score to create an immersive auditory landscape. Test screenings provided valuable feedback, prompting adjustments that sharpened narrative flow and enhanced viewer engagement. Marketing the film involved creative strategies to highlight its unique blend of cultural authenticity, compelling storytelling, and thrilling action. Promotional materials showcased behind-the-scenes footage, cast interviews, and demonstrations of martial arts philosophy, engaging audiences beyond conventional blockbuster appeals. Special screenings at film festivals and cultural events fostered dialogue around the film's themes of growth, mentorship, and cross-cultural exchange. In the years since its release, the film's production stories have become part of its legacy, shared by cast and crew in interviews, panel discussions, and fan events. These anecdotes reveal the human dimension behind the art, the laughter, the sweat, the moments of doubt and triumph. They illustrate how a diverse group of people, brought together by a shared vision, navigated challenges, and created something greater than the sum of its parts. Reflecting on these behind-the-scenes insights, we see a production that embraced unpredictability with grace and creativity. The film's making was a dance of tradition and innovation, discipline and spontaneity, individual effort and collective spirit. These stories enrich our appreciation of the cinematic experience, reminding us that every scene, every gesture, and every frame carries within it the imprint of real human passion and perseverance. Ultimately, the film's creation stands as a vivid example of how art and culture intersect, how stories transcend borders, and how the collaborative magic of filmmaking brings narratives to life in ways that inspire, challenge, and move audiences around the world. The story at the core of this film unfolds like a richly woven tapestry, each thread intricately tied to themes that resonate far beyond the immediate narrative, touching on universal human experiences while grounded in specific cultural contexts. The exploration of themes and symbolism here is not merely decorative. It is the very architecture of the film's emotional and philosophical depth. As we journey through its unfolding, these elements invite us to contemplate identity, resilience, transformation, and the delicate balance between tradition and modernity, all woven into the protagonist's personal odyssey. One of the most prominent themes is the search for identity amid displacement. The young protagonist's move from his familiar world into an alien environment serves as a powerful metaphor for the universal experience of feeling unmoored, whether by geography, circumstance, or internal conflict. This theme is multifaceted. It encompasses cultural estrangement, the trials of adolescence, and the quest to reconcile external influences with inner truth. Throughout the film, the protagonist's struggle to define himself in relation to his new surroundings, and to reconcile his past with his present, is portrayed with poignant complexity. His journey embodies the tension between holding on to one's roots and embracing change, a tension that resonates deeply in an increasingly globalized world. Closely linked is the theme of resilience, the capacity to withstand adversity and emerge transformed. The film does not shy away from depicting hardship. Bullying, cultural alienation, and self-doubt all weigh heavily on the protagonist. Yet resilience here is portrayed not as brute endurance but as a dynamic process involving learning, adaptation, and emotional growth. This nuanced understanding shifts the narrative from a simple tale of overcoming to a profound meditation on the nature of strength, one that honors vulnerability and perseverance alike. The protagonist's evolving relationship with his mentor and community illustrates how resilience is nurtured through connection, guidance, and self-reflection. The mentor's teachings infuse the narrative with themes of balance and harmony. Rooted in martial arts philosophy, these concepts extend beyond physical discipline to encompass ethical and spiritual dimensions. The emphasis on humility, patience, and respect challenges prevailing cultural narratives about power and success, suggesting alternative pathways to mastery and fulfillment. This thematic thread weaves through training scenes and interpersonal interactions, offering viewers a lens through which to reconsider notions of masculinity, authority, and personal growth. The mentor's role as a cultural bridge underscores the theme of cross-cultural understanding and the possibility of synthesis between tradition and modernity. Transformation is another core theme, depicted both externally and internally. The protagonist's physical transformation, his developing martial art skills and changing demeanor, is mirrored by psychological and emotional shifts. This process of becoming is neither linear nor facile. It involves setbacks, doubt, and moments of revelation. The film's narrative structure and visual style echo this complexity, using motifs of movement, repetition, and cyclical patterns to symbolize the ongoing nature of change. Transformation is presented not as a final destination but as a continual unfolding, inviting viewers to reflect on their own journeys of growth. The film also delves into themes of honor and respect, particularly within the context of martial arts and cultural tradition. These concepts are portrayed with nuance, revealing their relational and contextual nature. Honor is not simply about victory or dominance but about integrity, fairness, and humility. Respect emerges as foundational, not only between combatants but within communities and across cultural divides. These values challenge viewers to reconsider simplistic dichotomies of right and wrong, inviting deeper engagement with ethical complexities. Symbolism enriches these themes, providing a visual and narrative language that deepens meaning and emotional resonance. One of the most recurrent symbols is the crane, a bird revered in Chinese culture for its grace, longevity, and balance. Its presence in the film serves as a metaphor for the protagonist's aspiration toward harmony and elevated perspective. Scenes featuring the crane, whether in flight, at rest, or integrated into training, punctuate the narrative with moments of reflection and aspiration, linking personal growth to natural rhythms and cultural heritage. The motif of balance manifests in various symbolic forms. The yin-yang philosophy, with its interplay of opposites and mutual interdependence, is visually and thematically echoed throughout the film. Contrasts between light and shadow, movement and stillness, aggression and calm, are woven into fight choreography, lighting design, and narrative structure. These dualities embody the film's meditation on the integration of conflicting forces within the self and the world, suggesting that true mastery involves embracing complexity rather than seeking simple resolution. The wax-on, wax-off sequence exemplifies symbolism at work. What appears as a mundane chore is revealed as a foundational practice in discipline, muscle memory, and mindfulness. This transformation of the ordinary into the profound underscores themes of patience, attention, and the hidden depths of learning. It symbolizes the process by which surface actions give rise to inner transformation, a core principle of martial arts and, metaphorically, of life itself. The tournament, as a symbolic arena, encapsulates multiple themes simultaneously. It represents not only a physical contest but a ritualized space where identity, honor, and cultural values are enacted and contested. The arena's design, steeped in tradition and ceremony, reinforces the weight of history and community. The matches become metaphors for internal struggles, fear, pride, self-doubt, played out publicly, highlighting the interconnectedness of personal and social dimensions of growth. Visual symbolism extends to architectural elements, arches, gates, and staircases, that punctuate the protagonist's journey. These structures symbolize thresholds, transitions, and progressions, marking moments of change or decision. Their repeated appearance invites reflection on the cyclical and layered nature of the journey towards self-realization. Colors serve symbolic purposes as well. The protagonist's evolution is mirrored in shifts from muted, disconnected palettes toward richer, harmonized tones, reflecting growing integration and confidence. Contrasts between the coldness of the urban environment and the warmth of training and nature settings evoke emotional and thematic contrasts, reinforcing the narrative's arc from alienation to belonging. Sound and music further amplify symbolism and theme. Traditional Chinese instruments imbue scenes with cultural resonance and emotional depth, while rhythmic percussion and melodic motifs underscore tension, determination, or serenity. The interplay of silence and sound highlights moments of introspection and action, guiding the viewer's emotional journey. Characters themselves embody thematic symbolism. The mentor represents wisdom, tradition, and ethical grounding. The antagonist embodies pride, aggression, and the shadow side of cultural identity. The protagonist stands at the intersection, embodying struggle, growth, and the possibility of synthesis. Their interactions dramatize larger philosophical questions about selfhood, community, and the nature of power. These themes and symbols are intricately connected to the plot's unfolding. The protagonist's challenges and triumphs illustrate the thematic journey, from displacement to integration, from fear to courage, from fragmentation to harmony. Each significant event serves as a narrative embodiment of underlying motifs, transforming abstract ideas into lived experience. The film's emotional resonance arises from this thematic depth. Viewers are invited to empathize with the protagonist's vulnerabilities and victories, to reflect on the mentor's wisdom, and to grapple with the antagonist's complexity. This engagement fosters a profound connection, transforming the film from entertainment to a meaningful exploration of the human condition. In sum, the film's themes and symbolism form its beating heart, a rich, layered meditation on identity, resilience, transformation, and cultural dialogue. Through carefully woven motifs and character arcs, the story invites viewers into a space of reflection and growth, offering insights that extend far beyond the screen. This intricate tapestry of meaning ensures the film's enduring power and relevance, marking it as a work of both artistic and philosophical significance. The film's creation is a symphony of artistry and technical mastery, a convergence of traditional craftsmanship and modern innovation that breathes life into the narrative and elevates it beyond a simple story of martial arts and personal growth. The filmmaking techniques employed are as integral to the film's identity as its characters and plot, shaping mood, tone, and meaning with deliberate precision. This exploration uncovers the layers of cinematic craft, from camera work to sound design, from editing rhythms to visual effects, that together construct an immersive world resonant with emotional depth and cultural texture.